Hey, welcome to Wednesday. I've got heavy cream and it has a big chunk of heavy cream on top. But I get this from the farm box that I get, and it's like the best. This is Northern California. It comes down to Southern California. It's from Strauss Family Farms. But today we're going to do two things, and the first one is, before I begin, my name's George Gary, and I have been doing these for over a couple months now. If you have some shows you haven't gotten to see, go ahead and check them out on YouTube. And you can go to georgegary.com and get all the recipes. You can see all the different things I do. All my books, it's interesting. Somebody came up and they said, do you have a book on soups? And I want to get your book on soup is what they said. And I was like, did I do a book on soup? No, I didn't. Because when you have 15 books, I know what people like that have 15 children that can't remember their names. So I can't remember half of the books. But you can get them all on Amazon. And if you need any personalization, you can email me and I'll send you cards and stuff like that out. And I have a tour company. I take people on food adventures. And so here we go. We've got, first we've got warm spinach and artichoke dip. And we'll do this with some crackers. And then I've got fettuccine Alfredo and the whole history on it of how it came to Hollywood through some stars that went over to Rome. So we're going to do the dip first. And in fact, this spinach I got from the Farm to Fresh to You produce I get. And it's not one of those produce boxes where you don't know what you're getting. About 5 days before, they give me a whole list on what I'm getting, and I can take out or put other things in. And then I can add milk, and milk even comes in glass containers. I was taking the bottles out the other night because they pick up the bottles. My neighbor looked at me. She was outside, and she goes, "You get milk from a glass? They still do that?" So that's amazing. So anyway, we've got some cheeses in this too. We've got mozzarella, and we're going to put that in a saucepan turned off. Just on the bottom, and that's it. It's just gonna sit there for right now, okay? We have our food processor, and in the food processor, we're going to add the artichoke hearts. And these are just artichoke hearts that come marinated in a jar or a can, either way. Garlic, and we're gonna pulse this about 10 times. If everything goes okay. All right, pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, then we're gonna add the spinach to the work bowl. Now, this is washed and crunchy. Now, you can also use frozen spinach if you want. And if you use frozen, you're going to have to take and squeeze all of the water out. And it takes a while because what I do is the night before or the day before, I'll take a metal strainer, put the frozen spinach in it, and just let it thaw out, and it pretty much drains. So then we're going to pulse this. We're going to turn it on, hoping it all. Sometimes you have to help it, so maybe I'll just do half of it first and then throw the other half in because it doesn't even look like it moved. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Let's just take about half. It smells good. And I did not know until I was in high school that spinach came fresh. I thought it was in a can like Popeye. That's what we ate as kids, and I couldn't stand it. My dad would have it with vinegar, and it was not too good. So anyway, got that. Let me move that around a little bit with a spatula. The frozen one grinds up faster. But there we go. And we will grind this up, and then we'll be right back. So this is the last of our spinach. You try not to use the stems. Okay, so now we're going to add our cream cheese. I got a few big pieces of leaves here, so I'm gonna, oh, the garlic and everything smells so good in that. Sometimes you have to help your food processor. Okay, here's our cream cheese, and we'll just take a few pieces and put it around the bowl. We don't want to put the whole big chunk in one section. I know I have 2 books on food processors. I think this is in that one. Then we're going to turn this back on. So it grinds that up. Ah, that sounds good. Let's clean the edges. And that's it. Now we'll come over to here. I've got my cream and some Parmesan cheese. And let me put this, I'm gonna put this on top of the cheese. Hold onto the blade with your finger. Pour this in. And you try to clean, don't pull the blade out yet. You gotta turn it back on to get in the corners. Just like that. Turn it on. Kind of clean the blade for you. And then we'll get the rest of the mixture. I still have not turned the heat source on to my dip because I want to wait until I get it all in there. And then I've got the rubber spatula close by. We don't want anything to burn, like all the cheese. We want it to just melt and become bubbly. Then we've got Parmesan cheese and our heavy cream. I like the sound of that. Did I do enough cheese? Yeah. And we're gonna turn this on. And we'll stir this until everything is melted, and then that's it. Then, this is a great dip for St. Patrick's Day. This year we didn't get to do a whole lot for St. Patrick's Day, but it's got a nice green color to it because you're using that fresh spinach. If you use a spinach that's the frozen, it's gonna be darker, just to let you know. We're gonna heat that up, and it's just gonna start bubbling. It'll take about 10 minutes, so I'll keep stirring it, and we'll come back. You don't want that cheese to brown or anything like that. And you can see in here that it's nice greens, like I said. So we're just gonna heat this up, and then it's all done. And in the meantime, we will make our fettuccine, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we're making our fettuccine Alfredo. And I just cooked fresh pasta. So it only takes, whew, I get all steamy. It only takes a couple minutes. You want to keep the water. So this recipe, where did you go? Whenever when I get into the dishwasher or something. Okay, there's our fresh pasta. Woo! It constantly, steamy, steamy, steamy. Okay, we're gonna keep this like this right now. And I did put a little bit of olive oil into the water. And I want to save 2 cups of the water because that's part of our pasta water. Yep, about 2 cups. Okay, we have our saucepan. Now, Musso and Frank's, I've talked about it before in my classes and stuff, one of my favorite restaurants. They're right on Hollywood Boulevard. We're going to show you a few pictures, and we'll be right back. So that restaurant that you just saw started in 1919. It's the oldest restaurant in Hollywood and the same a family-owned restaurant too, and they make this pasta. It seems very simple, but what it was Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. They were like the king and queen of Hollywood back in the early days. They had been to Rome and they got this recipe and they brought it back for the chef. It was in their files for years. Everybody else made the fettuccine Alfredo, but this is the exact kind that they made in Rome for the two. So what you do is all you have is very high grade cheese and butter and our pasta water. So we take our pasta water and our fresh pasta. And this really is a treat when you go there and eat it because it tastes so good. And we're going to take now add the butter and we'll stir this until it becomes velvety.
Wow.
You didn't realize you ate. Have you ever had the pasta there, Neil? This one?
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was that much better.
Oh, they have old Hollywood food there. And if you saw, like I showed you in those pictures, if you saw the different movies, Quentin Tarantino's movie, and then the Netflix film series called Hollywood that was just put out a couple months ago from Ryan Murphy, they filmed at that restaurant a lot. If you ever need a restaurant for old Hollywood, they use that. Mad Men was filmed there a lot. Mad Men, a lot of people say, oh, they went to New York. They never stepped foot in New York. It was always in LA, different restaurants that had that old Hollywood, old 1950s, 60s look. So we just stir that in. And Neil will get a close-up of this before I start putting the cheese in. Now, I'm not going to put all the cheese in at once. I'm going to go a little slow. So see how velvety that looks? So you use the highest grade Parmesan you can find, and you stir this just a little at a time. Looks like rice almost, and then it starts melting. And just keep stirring that. So all it is butter and cheese. I don't see a problem. Do you, Neil?
Huh.
And
Yeah.
our pasta.
Our cardiologist might disagree.
We just don't talk to them. Now this, see? Keep stirring that in a little bit. Now butter and water do not blend well. It's like oil and water. So that's why we stir a little bit more.
Oops.
And now we'll put our pasta in that was hot. And I'll get a spatula. This is a serving for 8. So just to let you know, we got a lot here. And a lot of people think that cheese sauce, that Alfredo is just a plain cheese sauce, but here it's got the butter and the cheese, and
Maybe tongs.
there you go. So there is our look how beautiful that is. And we'll salt and pepper this, and we'll get it into a serving dish, and we'll put that together in just a few minutes. I'll just put it back in that serving bowl. We'll be right back. Okay, so we have our pasta ready to go, and we made our spinach and artichoke dip tonight. A little bit of fattening stuff, both of them, but hey, we're still inside, might as well. Hopefully you come to Hollywood when it gets settled down and you see Musso and Frank's when they reopen. I just got a message the other day that they're looking into reopening in a few weeks. And it's one of my favorite places, and you will see movie stars there. Yep, that's where they go. And hopefully you have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us, and check in on your neighbors again, and check in on everybody. And today's Wednesday, right? The 3rd? It's my little sister's birthday today. Yesterday was Mom's. Today is my little sister. So happy birthday, Patty. Take care.